Hey guys, welcome back to some more wrestling reviews. And today I'm joined by Colton the Guy, and we're going to be discussing 2024's Summerslam and talk about our thoughts on it, do a review on it. Do we think it was better than last year's Summerslam? Do we think it was one of the better ones, one of the weaker ones? Was it better than Money in the Bank? What do we think about the matches? All that good stuff. But anyways, Colt, how are you doing today, my friend?
What is life?
I don't know. It's been weird. We had to work overtime on Friday. Saturday, I visited some family. Today, it's just been sleep and sleep and more sleep for me. So, been a really weird weekend. Hopefully, we're not forced to work overtime again because that was, yeah, maybe like once every 2 weeks thing for me. But to talk about SummerSlam, did you at least think it was better than Money in the Bank? What we got?
By like 100%, yes.
I think I agree with you there. I think it's fair to say. Yeah, I think there was a lot of problems with Money in the Bank that they definitely were able to fix with this. I thought it felt a lot bigger, which makes sense because it's SummerSlam, and I'm glad that they made it feel more important. They made it follow up Money in the Bank in a pretty logical way, and they were able to fix a lot of things that were the problems with Money in the Bank. However, I don't think this is a perfect show. I think there's definitely still some flaws here, some things that maybe are just growing pains for Triple H and the team moving forward. I do think that there is stuff on the card that I thought could have been better, but to get into SummerSlam, were you hyped for it going in? As I was pretty hyped for it. I was pretty ready for this card.
I was very hyped.
What
Very
was
hyped.
what was some of the matches you were looking forward to the most going into the show?
Um, Cody and Solo, shockingly. Um, Priest and Gunther,
Of course.
and Logan in LA.
See, that one kind of got overlooked a bit. That and the Bailey match sort of got overlooked a little bit. We'll get into those in a minute, but
Well, so I was going to ask you before we start. I think we need to save the one match for
oh yeah,
last.
yeah. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre will be the last match we talk about of the night
Okay,
because
good.
that will be the most controversial, and I'm gonna have a lot to say during that segment. So
Oh,
we're
I
gonna
can't
sort
wait.
of mix up the order. We're gonna cover that one last. It's actually a good idea you brought that up and reminded me because
I can't wait.
yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen when we get there. But to get into
We're going to
SummerSlam, the
make
venue, of
people
course.
angry.
Oh yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Ready to spit some fire.
The marks will not like us.
Spit some fire so Punk can retire. No, I'm just joking.
That was
Uh,
actually a clean bar.
um, Speaking of bars, I am kind of looking forward to what him and Cena do. Although I think Punk needs to be the heel. I don't
They'll
want him.
probably
I
just
don't
do
want him to be
face
just a
beat.
baby face Punk being like, Cena, you're a great guy. You do so many great things. We're like, come on, man, Cena, you be the bad guy then. Someone be the bad guy here.
Somebody, please be
This
a
a
heel.
smooch fest. You know something, Punk. You're a great guy. You know what, Cena, you're a great guy too. Come on.
They keep kissing each other's rear ends.
I can't wait to face you at Survivor Series, Punk. Same to you, John.
What is
But
this?
it's in Cleveland, man. We talked about going to the show. End up not going for many reasons. The main reason for me was money. I didn't want to drop $300 on a ticket to go. Another
Main
reason
reason.
was I didn't feel like driving at least 2 hours there, 2 hours back when it was on the TV.
What
And
you mean? You weren't gonna drive? I was gonna
well,
drive.
I just sort of was like, man, even if somebody else is driving, like, do I really want to travel all the way out to Cleveland to watch this show? If it was changed a bit and they had The Rock on there and they started this whole bloodline thing a little earlier and they made it feel a bit more, I guess, in a way, bigger, because I thought it was big enough of a show but there wasn't enough to where it made me go, oh my God, I got to go drive out to Cleveland and watch the show right now. Like, most people were probably looking at the Punk match and being like, oh, I'm sold. But me, I'm like, I think I can just sit at home, relax, watch it on TV, and, not have to drop $300 on a ticket and get a seat where I can't even see anything. Because those stadium shows, man, if you don't get a good seat, you're basically doing what you'd be doing at home, watching a giant TV screen, although there's no commentary and you don't really get a good angle at times. And maybe once in a while you'll see somebody walking out in a crowd, or you'll see somebody take a bump on the outside of the ring. It's very hard to see the ring from a big stadium perspective. That's kind of why I feel bad for people that go to WrestleMania, because you pay all that money and you look at a little tiny itty bitty ring in the middle of the stadium.
Let me get my binoculars real quick.
Yeah, SummerSlam binoculars. Do you want the Cody Rhodes edition? Do you want the CM Punk edition or the DM Hunk edition? But it was pretty cool. It was in Cleveland. We haven't had a Cleveland pay-per-view in a while.
I'm waiting for Cincinnati.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see them go to Cincinnati. Obviously Columbus, since it's the closest. We were actually a pretty good crowd this time, because there was a couple of times where I was been to shows and we weren't dead quiet, but we were kind of that mid crowd where it was like somewhat loud, somewhat not.
I will say, if it is in Cincinnati or Columbus, I will probably go to it next time.
Well, hopefully I'll have some more money saved next time, man, because it was just, y'all know how it is out there. It's this economy, man. It's killing us. But
we won't get into that. Let's not get into that.
That's another stream for another day. That's when we get into politician hour. But
no, we will not get into that. That's how we get death threats.
Yo, the stream crashed. What the hell?
What happened?
God damn it. But yeah, Cleveland, man, cool venue. I want to say before we even get into the matches, I loved the aesthetic and the look of the show. I thought it was a really cool. I love what they're doing right now, where it's simple set design, but it works. It's different enough to where I can be like, oh shit, I like how it's a little different, but it ain't no like giant 80-foot tall LED screen with a bunch of other stuff on the side. It's just these little itty bitty stages that they do, the little walkways. I don't mind it. I thought it looked good. Thought the way the arena looked, or the stadium looked tonight, or that night rather, looked really good. I thought it was cool. It took place in the daytime in the very start of it, and then as the pay-per-view went along, it went into the nighttime. That was a cool choice. I like the rock and roll theme of it. Since the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland, I like how they chose the rock and roll type of aesthetic to a guitars and drums and stuff. That was pretty neat. I liked all that stuff.
I'll even say Jelly Roll was good.
Yeah, they had a pretty good musical guest, man. Jelly Roll. I was just hoping he wasn't going to start rapping, but luckily that didn't happen. He did his good music. No offense, Jelly Roll. But yeah, we had a few other people show up. We had MGK show up for like a split second, and he touched the U.S. title. I can't believe somebody has to clean that U.S. title. He touched it. How dare he touch it? But yeah, what do you think about the look of the show and the production design and how the spectacle of the show looked? Do you think it looked good?
I thought it looked good for what it was. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
More of a simplistic sort of take on SummerSlam.
Oh my goodness!
What's that?
Obi Jones is going to be on Raw. Oddity Jones, I mean.
Oh yeah, good. Use him more. Use my boy Shantae the Adonis more, man. Before you release him, at least. I want to see him do one more match at least. But to get into the first match, I don't know why Rhea Ripley be opening these shows all the time, but she did it at WrestleMania. Here she is at SummerSlam, opening the show with Liv Morgan for the world title. Honestly, I'm going to be real with you, man. I thought the match was a pretty decent story, but this is one of those rare instances where I knew where this was going. I'm looking more towards the next match because this part of the story to me is less interesting than the next part. I want to see Rhea Ripley with the odds all against her versus in this match we knew going in that Dom was going to turn on Rhea and Liv was going to win, and I kind of knew where the story was going. So I'm looking more towards their next match at Bad Blood or whatever. I'm looking towards the next chapter of the story rather than this part. This is sort of what it reminds me of is when you watch a movie trilogy and you get to that, it's a trilogy, the story, you watch the first part, and even though you like it, you're ready for the next chapter rather than the first chapter. You're like, okay, the first chapter is respectable, but I think it's okay. I think it's decent. 3 out of 5 match for me, but I'm looking more towards the next match. I'm excited to see where it's going from here rather than where we're at right now. But it was solid. It was okay. A lot of them, no offense, but a lot of the Liv and sort of, in a way, Rhea marks were saying that it was 5 out of 5. And I was like, I wouldn't give it that high of a rating, but I thought it was a solid match. It was some good storytelling. Some interesting ideas, like Rhea Ripley pops her shoulder out of place, and to get it back in, she hits it on turnbuckles and tables and stuff.
And then pops it back into place.
Yeah, that was a little interesting. They had the idea in this match and it would happen throughout the rest of the shows or the rest of the matches. I don't know if it happens on regular TV. Of the referee has a camera on the side of their head, and they film a POV of the ref cam, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if it all worked, but it was interesting. It was different. It was more of an interesting match. They tried different things. I thought Rhea was this was definitely the transition match of her going into being a babyface, and I think that's how I explain it is. This was more the transitional wrestling match. This was when we're going to solidify Liv Morgan as the heel, solidify Rhea as the babyface. Dom's going to be taking Liv's side, getting the story ready rather than just like, okay, this is where it begins and ends. This is the first chapter, respectable first chapter, but I think it'll be a lot better in the next match, personally.
Yeah. I feel like because they couldn't do much because it was a championship match, and they even teased that Rhea was going to smack her with the chair, and then Dominic pulled it aside and was like, hey, don't do that. You'll get DQ'd. And she was like, you're right. And then Liv capitalized, and then the chair was still in. Dom slid the chair in there. I was like, I'm like, up, here it comes, and then distracts the ref, and then Liv hits her finisher on the chair. And 1, 2, 3, we have Rhea loses and Liv retains. I thought it was good for what it was. Everyone knew the outcome. I'm pretty sure. If you really thought Rhea was gonna win, you're kind of blind, in my opinion, because I'm one of the biggest Rhea marks, but I knew she wasn't winning.
I'm also a pretty big fan. I wanted her to win really bad at first, but the way they were booking it, I'm like, oh no, this story ain't over. This is going to be a long, and it makes sense. I mean, it's a story that they're making a lot of money off of right now. It's a big hit. People love the story. Liv Morgan, I feel, has found a character that she can kind of grasp onto and actually have some sort of an identity and do something a little different. As I think Liv Morgan's doing okay right now. It's just she needed that character, and I think she's starting to find it. I don't think it's all the way formed yet. I know a lot of people, again, you could tell these people have real big fan bases and stuff because the fans were really breaking some of these matches down and being like, this is why it's a 5-star match. And while I respect their opinions,
I respect the fact that they did all that.
Yeah, like I respect that they give it the credit it's sort of deserved, but I do think that it's sort of like, whoa, this story hasn't even begun technically yet. So let's get into it before we start throwing 5 stars everywhere, guys. Don't be Meltzer now. Like let's see how this turns out before we start saying it's one of the best rivalries of all time and shit. But yeah, I do enjoy it. I think it's one of the better parts of Raw. I enjoyed the mind games that Liv Morgan plays. I like how she's utilizing more of a psychological heel aspect because she is a bit more of a smaller person So her versus Rhea in a hand-to-hand combat wrestling match,
Rhea's
Rhea's
murdering
going
her.
to dominate her. But I like how Liv is using Dom and psychological tactics and stuff against Rhea. It's pretty interesting.
So I don't. This may
Here we get into Liv Morgan. Okay.
this may cause some controversy. I don't know. I still don't think Liv Morgan's good.
Really? Not even with
I
this sort of character she's doing.
I don't care for her character because she tried it once and it failed miserably in my eyes. Like she tried it with Rhonda, like she was this crazy psycho chick that loved pain, and they again, it's not her fault. It was the booking. They fumbled the bag with it. They had her lose to Rhonda, and it was just like, why should I care about this psycho chick who all she does is lose? And now that she found the character again, this time with Dom being like a Joker and she's the Harley Quinn.
Which she
It's just
stole Alexa Bliss's gimmick, by the way. Blatant.
again, and again, this I will gladly have all the Liv Morgan marks come at my throat. I could care less. She's a less talented Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I will say that now. She is a less talented Alexa Bliss because Alexa Bliss can do better character work, in-ring work, and promo work than Liv.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely not sold on her 100% yet. I think she's doing decent, doing okay as this heel character. But to say that she's got it down and that her and Rhea are having one of the greatest rivalries of all time, you can just tell the Liv Morgan fans want her to be so good, so bad. And I was there. I used to be there. I used to be a really big fan of Liv Morgan. But then I realized, like, okay, I listened to your criticisms. I listened to most people's criticisms. And I sat back and I was like, okay, I'm seeing what you guys mean here. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, okay, when was her last good promo? When was her last good character moment? When was her last time she was like iconic or quotable or memorable? And I struggled to find a defining characteristic with Liv Morgan where I was like, okay, this is what she's done. This is what she is. Like, she really doesn't have a character. She struggles to find that character. I hope this one's it for her. I really do. I think she's getting some sort of footing down with this character better than her fucking crazy gimmick. I didn't like that at all because I was like, this is out of nowhere. And it was just them being desperate. Like, we got to give her a character, man. We got to give her a character. Let's just make her lose her mind. I'm like, but that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, why would she lose her mind? Because she lost?
Here is my criticism towards. There's one thing I will criticize her the most, and it's not her book, it's not the booking, it's not her in-ring skills. It is her promo abilities. She cannot cut a promo to save her life, in my opinion.
It's the revenge tour.
Like, her voice annoys me, her promo skills annoy me. Everything like with her just annoys me when she talks. Even as a face, I was like, you can't cut a promo. Go away. Like, I don't care.
But and it's her revenge tour.
I don't care. They try to get that over and they try to get me the watch me over. Like, no. The only reason why people are watching you is because you're a wish version of Alexa Bliss.
Yep. And Alexa's out right now, so you're the only one we have. And then Alexa comes back.
Everyone likes her is because of her body.
Yeah. I mean, she's just a hot chick. So people look at her and they go, like, I don't know. For me, why I liked Liv Morgan for a while is because, like, I always thought she's sort of like Tiffany Stratton, where even though Tiffany Stratton is trying to be this heel, there's something about her. It's like a likable quality that you just sort of latch onto. Like, Liv Morgan sort of had that underdog factor for a while, where she was a baby face and she was smaller than most people. Huh?
That was the good Liv Morgan when she was that underdog baby face when they were like not using her, like she just kept losing and losing. That was the Liv Morgan I liked because like she had a purpose to like fight and claw. But then like you said, they turned her crazy, and it was out of nowhere, and it was just like, why?
Yeah, and then it went away, and then she changed her theme song like 8 times.
It's just with me, you know, you have to have a good presentation, and you know, she's out there, I'm not, so I will always give her more respect, but I can still can critique.
Yeah, of course.
I will never think she's a good promo speaker. In ring, she's good, and that's about it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think the promo part is definitely her weakest point, and I like I said, the Liv Morgan fan base, they try to explain it to you. Like one person was like, she's playing a great character right now. Her character work is why she's so over. I'm like, all she's doing is playing a slut. You know, I'm not even trying to be mean about it, but that's all she is. Like, she went out there, was just like, Daddy Dom, here's my key card. I'm like, that's a character arc, her doing that. Like, the Rhea stuff, I do like because she stole Rhea's man. You know, she's injured Rhea's arm. She did a few more. Like, I like that more than just like the fact that, oh, well, Liv Morgan's a genius because she changed her character. And I'm like, she changed it in the most minor way ever. And people are like, oh, it's great. Masterpiece. 5-star. And we'll get into that later with another person that shit. And people are like, oh my God, they changed the wrestling industry. They're the reason why wrestling exists. I'm like, you guys can just stop it now.
That's another thing I will say with her is her fans. I thought she had worse fans. It's a tie now between her and Sasha fans because, oh my gosh.
Yeah. You have one criticism, they try to tell you why you're wrong and why she's a genius and why she's perfect. And I'm like, y'all are just simping because she's hot. Most of y'all are dudes defending her and being like, no, she's a genius. Like, at least Alexa Bliss, I thought she had a look. She could wrestle. She could talk. She had different arcs in her character.
She can cut a fantastic promo. I miss Alexa so much.
Yeah,
I
me
cannot
too.
wait for her to come back and freaking
destroy Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is the Solo Sikoa of the women's division. She thinks she's Alexa, but she's not.
Solo thinks he's the tribal chief, but he's not.
You ain't the OTC. Oh, by the way, I heard that the Roman Reigns return video on YouTube was like one of the highest viewed videos of all time in WWE and record time, like 20 or 30 minutes or something like that.
I heard that. I heard like they made like $1 million or like something just with
his return. Yeah. They compared it to like Okada's debut and Bryan Danielson's debut and all these other numbers. And they drew millions. They drew like 1 million, 2 million, but it was nowhere near Roman's. I'm like, that's sad.
Know the funny thing?
Huh?
Oddity Jones had a better view count than AEW's Big Three.
Yeah, I see that. That's so bad, bro.
I was like, ah, ain't no way. Ain't no way.
It's because they want to be like, everyone knows who Okada is. I'm like, I didn't even know who Okada was, and I'm a wrestling fan. How the hell are you supposed to expect people to know who Okada is?
This man freaking Oddity Jones just goes, hold my beer. I'll show y'all how to freaking make an impact.
My man's the next superstar walking in with millions of views. What the hell?
Bro, yeah, and he had a good debut too. He freaking killed the stable of killing Cross and AOP.
I couldn't wait for him to debut. He's a good superstar. I mean, on NXT, he was doing good stuff, and then he disappeared. And I was like, man, don't release him. He's good.
He never did get released, which was shocking.
Yeah, because he disappeared for a long time. Bro, a long time.
Bro's been on the main roster for like a year, and like he just now came back.
Yeah, because he was part of 2.0, right?
Yeah.
So he been having, I
He
don't know,
was
maybe they had him in the performance center training and stuff.
he was killing it in 2.0, and then he got drafted, and then he was just never seen again. And then he got drafted again, and it was just like, oh, he's still here.
Yeah.
And he debuted.
I mean, they
But
didn't
back,
use Dijak, but at least they're using Odyssey Jones. I'll give them
yeah,
that.
I don't know what happened with that situation, but
I
that
don't
was a
know,
rough
man.
call.
I don't know how you can't use like Dijak is such a good character. That's such a misstep, man.
Yeah,
For
just too
sure.
many. Sometimes there's just too many
There's too
cooks in
many
the kitchen.
stars, damn it. Too many
Yeah,
stars. Not enough shows.
not enough. Yeah. Um, but back to the Rhea and Liv match. It was good. They did some cool things in it, like the shoulder stuff, the crucifix pin that Liv did on Rhea,
Uh-huh.
the spike that Liv did on Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Solid
Rhea
wrestling
kind
match.
yeah,
Pretty
Rhea
good.
kind of dominated that whole match with Liv getting a little bit of offense in, so Rhea still looked really, really good even in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably give it a 3.5 just because Rhea. Just Rhea alone.
Yeah.
Rhea,
Yeah,
hit me
Rhea
up.
did
You're
good.
single now. Hit me up. I got you. I'll smack Dirty Dom for you.
It was a good story moment too when Dominic turned on Rhea. Although it happened a little fast, where I was like, "Well, okay, I guess that's all right. I guess you turn." Like it wasn't this big. I thought it was gonna be this big dramatic moment where he steps in and helps Liv, and then the crowd gets to their feet, and everybody you see like the shots of Rhea's face as she's shocked. But it's very fast. Like he helps Rhea or he helps Liv. Boom, boom, boom in the match. And then we get a last shot of Rhea being shocked, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess that was a little quick." But I mean, it was still a good story moment. I liked
Dom,
how
you
shocked.
fumbled.
Oh,
Dom,
I'm
you
like Rhea.
fumbled.
How are you shocked? You had like millions of people saying, "Hey, Dominic, not good for you. Not good for you."
Hey, just you know what to do. I'm here, Rhea. I'm here.
But yeah, I would say it's a pretty good rating. Solid first match. Not too bad. I enjoyed the story, but I'm looking more forward to the rematch. I want to see her and Liv in Hell in a Cell or some shit like that.
Do,
I'm
do
looking
you
more towards
have
that.
do you have the card pulled up?
Yep.
Okay.
After that, we have a pretty disappointing match, in my opinion.
Is it the one I'm thinking of?
Braun Breaker versus
Yep.
Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought this match was probably the worst match of the night. This is the one that I
Oh,
would say it is the
even
that after thinking about it, because I was gonna say Nia versus Bailey, spoiler, but
yep.
Nia versus Bailey, so much more happened in that match. This
Okay.
match didn't make sense if we think about this match for a minute, because Sami Zayn beats Gunther at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn then goes on to hold the title for a long time, defeating all these people, including Braun Breaker once. And then we get to this match where all of a sudden Braun Breaker just buries. Uh, okay, Ian, I'll check them out whenever we're done with the stream. Thanks for watching, man. Welcome, welcome. But this match was basically a burial of Sami Zayn. I don't know what happened in this match because rumors said that even backstage people were surprised that it ended so quick. Like people
Hmm.
were wondering, hey, we gave you 10, 11 minutes. Why didn't you just go 8 minutes? What's going on? So I don't know what happened. I don't know if Braun just got too hyper out there and lost track of time and just buried Sammy and was like, that's it, I'm blown up, or something happened, or I thought someone got hurt. Because I'm like, okay, maybe Sammy broke something and he was like, just end it. That's understandable. But no, Sammy didn't get hurt. Braun
Yeah, they're
didn't get
having a
hurt.
rematch tomorrow.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened with this match. It's the most disappointing because I mean this is the Intercontinental Championship. We got Sami Zayn here, who is a solid wrestler. We got Braun Breaker, who I was actually hoping would do pretty good in this match. And he didn't do half bad, but it just wasn't much of a match. It started domination, and then it ended. And that was it. And I was like, why'd they do that? Why'd they end that like that? Was it a communication error? Was it a botch? Was it the wrestler's fault?
I was expecting so much out of that match. I'm not even gonna disagree with what you're saying. I was expecting them to go at it like you said. I was expecting 15 minutes, but it felt like it was done in like 5 or 8.
Yeah, it was quick. It was basically a quick little match, and he didn't totally bury Sammy, but he pretty much demolished him. And I was just like, what kind of logic is that?
Now watch the Raw match be like a 5-star match. I'm like, why couldn't y'all do that at SummerSlam?
Yeah, it's so weird how they book the IC title, because most of the time it's better on TV than it is in the pay-per-views.
Well,
when Gunther had it, the TV championship, or call it the Netflix champ. I know they're talking about a Netflix championship or something.
Oh God! That. Don't do AEW.
Don't do that. But like, it didn't make sense. It made no sense. It made Sammy look real bad.
That it ended so quick.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, did Braun get nervous? Did he end it because he blew up too fast? Like, what happened?
Well, wouldn't Sammy tell him to slow down a little bit and be like, hey, let's calm it down and stuff like that, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're Sammy and you know it's supposed to go on for like 11 to 15 minutes,
you kick out.
You're out there for 8 minutes and he's like hit you with 2 spears. You got to tell him like, hey, I got kicked out. We still got a little bit more time left. We got to make this memorable.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten really an answer of why this happened and where they're wanting to take this story. It just doesn't seem like there's much to work from here.
At this point on Raw, Braun has to win clean to get Sammy out of the picture, in my opinion. So Sammy can go after the world title, because it was not that good of a match.
I thought it was the worst match in their Money in the Bank match. I wasn't even too crazy about that one.
Their Money in the Bank match was better than that.
Yeah. I'd say the 3 out of 5. I think I gave that either 2.5 or a 3 out of 5 for the Money in the Bank match. This one was a 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
It just wasn't much. And I was actually like telling everyone, like, okay, Bailey and Nia gonna be a good one. I want Braun and Sammy to tear the house down.
I feel bad
match.
I feel bad for you, because
none of that happened, bro.
You had hope for 2 matches, and then they made you look like an idiot. Triple H made you look like
thanks, y'all. I was over here like Braun and Sammy gonna have a brutal, hard-hitting match. No,
that's what I thought too. I was like, they're gonna kill each other, like another match that's gonna be the end of the thing we talk about. But they didn't, and this is gonna be a surpriser for you. But I'm gonna rate it a 1.5.
Ooh, he went below a 2. Okay.
It just wasn't good. There's nothing to remember about this match besides Braun winning the IC title. That was it.
Yeah, I can't. There's not much of a story to build here, or to work off of. I think it's time to move on to other people for Braun Breaker. I think Sami Zayn, that whole thing needs to be sort of
done.
It's done.
Needs to be done. After Raw, it needs to be done. Braun needs to beat him clean. Sammy goes after the world title. And then we get guys like Dragunov and other people involved in the mid-card title.
Yeah, because I'd be pretty hyped to see a rematch between Ilja and Breaker. That'd be a pretty good little rematch.
It's just don't bury
Or Bronson Reed one day. Bronson Reed versus Braun Breaker. That'd be pretty cool.
Give me Omos.
Omos versus Braun Breaker. There's a lot of good matchups there. I'll be honest. I think Sami Zayn had the worst Intercontinental Champion. Well, Not of all time. What I mean is, I wouldn't say like of all time. I'm gonna say he had the worst championship reign of the year so far.
I was gonna say because there was some stinkers.
Yeah. I'm discounting the tag team shit because I know people. What about the women's tag team? They don't even use those titles. I'm not even gonna count those. I'm talking singles. Men's singles, he had the worst reign of the year because he just. I don't get it. He fought so hard to become IC champion, and then he didn't even do anything with it. Nothing memorable, nothing interesting, nothing
Didn't do
unique.
open challenges like I thought he would.
Yeah, no open challenges. He didn't wrestle as much as I thought he was going to wrestle. He didn't have good. I mean, his promos were okay. It was okay. It was all okay with Sami Zayn, but it was nothing. And I'm so over the underdog thing. And he's going on Raw and being like, I prove myself to these people every time I get in this ring, and people still seem to not respect me. And I'm like, I'm just so over this underdog stuff. And I
And
just,
the funny thing, real quick, was I was for the underdog stuff at first because it was like, oh, he beat Gunther. That was an underdog win if you think about it. So I'm
yeah.
like, oh, they're gonna do the under whatever it was called, just the underdog fight that he did in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't even do that right. It just felt
Uh-uh.
like he just held the title and then just did nothing with it. He had good matches when he had matches, but like it didn't feel. Maybe it was just because of Gunther spoiling us, making that title relevant.
Maybe, yeah.
But it felt like a middle of the road guy, like a placeholder. If you kind of think about
Yeah.
like beat Gunther, and then they're like, all right, you're gonna hold it until SummerSlam, and then Breaker's gonna beat you, and then no one's gonna remember that. You're gonna be remembered for beating Gunther, and that's it.
I kind of wonder if it would have been a better choice if Sammy would have lost and Gable would have went and beat Gunther at Mania. And I wonder if Gable, because imagine Gable, even with the heel turn with that IC title, he'd be doing so much more with it than Sammy did.
Or they pull the trigger and just have Gable beat him on Raw like they should have.
Yeah.
Not
He ain't even
Gunther,
got
but
to
he
go
beat
through all that
Sammy.
heel stuff. He can just still be a face because it was pretty interesting and the people were wanting Gable. And then they're like, no, Sammy, wanted it. So we're going to give it to Sammy. And I'm like, but he already had the IC title like for a long time. Why are we giving him another reign? He's
He's
a
had it like
baby face. I
yeah,
don't know. Everything about it was like, I don't want. I don't think really any of us want that. But I mean, I was down for it in the very beginning because him and Gunther had a good match.
they
But
had a
even leading
fantastic.
into that match, I was like, man, this should be Gable. Why is Sammy getting this match? And then I found out later that Sammy had complained about it and was like, I don't ever get wins and I don't ever really do anything in this company. And then they gave him the IC title, and I'm like, okay, that's my problem, man. Don't whine about that. Then get the title and then do nothing with it because you pretty much just wasted everyone's time at that point. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my boy Shinsuke had a better IC title reign than you, my guy. And his title reign was
Where
barely
is
on TV.
where is my boy Shinsuke?
We need to have that gimmick where it's like a missing poster sign. It's like, or a missing person sign. It's like, where is Shinsuke Nakamura? Just like Johnny Gargano. Where was Johnny
Please
Gargano?
bring him back for the love of everything. Have him be the guy to beat LA Knight
Mm-hmm.
after a while. Not close, but have him be the guy, or have him be the guy to beat Cody. Because I miss
Shinsuke
my boy.
Nakamura's back. Hey, 1, 2, 3.
That's for almost breaking my neck, kid.
So sorry, brother. It's a receipt. But yeah, overall, man, Braun Breaker, 2 out of 5 for me. You said 1.5 out of 5 for you.
1.5.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I can't blame you there, man. It's disappointing. I wish there was more to it. I hope they have the bad blood, but not them. But I hope Braun is at Bad Blood. I don't want to see another match at Bad Blood. I want to see Braun Breaker versus somebody else at Bad Blood, not Sammy. I think Sammy needs to go take some time off and figure out what he's gonna do because he's just sort of there, and it's just like I don't know, man. I don't know what you do with Sammy right now. I think you need to go back to the drawing board, man, and just figure out something new and put him in the main event scene for once, and not be like, oh, he's still a mid Carter after 12 years,
Don't you dare bite me.
huh?
I got a snake out, and she was
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean? I said I'm not liking what Sammy's doing right now. But
Don't you bite me. Wait, what?
but yeah, I thought it was disappointing, man. But moving on from that match, what do we got up next? We got a fucking bangers. What we got? WWE
LA Knight.
United States Championship match. LA Knight, yeah, taking on Logan Paul. Hey yo, and I'm a big fan of LA and Logan Paul. So going into this, just gonna let everybody know I'm very biased. Those are some of my favorite wrestlers right now on the roster. I love my boy LA Knight. Hashtag Eli Drake. I've been following him since he was Eli Drake, man. I told everybody, I'm like, this dude's gonna be a star. This dude's gonna be a star.
I remember when you were telling me about him, and I started watching a lot of his old stuff in TNA. I was like, this dude's a freaking amazing promo cutter. And then he showed up on NXT. I freaking blew you up. I was like, oh my God, Eli Drake's on NXT. You were like, ain't no way.
Yep. My boy Eli Drake made his debut. LA Knight, been killing it. Survived a horrible, horrible gimmick somehow. And Max Dupree. He made it through that. And just to see my man go through all those different challenges and to finally get the U.S. title, man, it's so rewarding. Big pop in this match when he finally won that. Logan Paul, to me, is one of the best heels. I love Logan Paul. My problem with Logan Paul isn't anything he can't do in the ring or on the mic or as a character. I think he's a natural heel. He's a natural, man. He's a natural wrestler. He reminds me of Shawn Michaels, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh no, man, Logan Paul." I'm like, no, I really do get Shawn Michaels vibes from how he talks and how he carries himself and how he wrestles. Like he gives me Shawn Michaels vibes, and I really enjoy his work. And I thought he didn't do half bad as the champion. I thought the big problem with Logan Paul is he's not there a lot. He's not a full-time wrestler. He's not there defending his title all the time. And my thing with Logan is if he was going to get a title, make him have a full-time schedule. It'd be a lot more fair to do that. But they still let him go and do all this other stuff. Thus, we only got like 4 defenses on shows for the United States title. So I thought it was a good move. LA Knight's reliable. He's going to be there. He's going to be I think he's going to be one of the best U.S. champions. I'm ready to see what he does with Santos. Maybe he'll make my boy get some noise for once. I'm sorry, Santos. Santos, man, you be coming out in this like cheep, 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 cheep. The crickets are going loud tonight. They're losing their minds for Santos. And then here comes Adrane. Yay. Oh man. Sorry for roasting y'all. But yeah, I think LA Knight and Logan, man, great rivalry leading up to it. LA Knight just showing up at his house, chilling in his pool. I loved all the story aspects. LA Knight was killing it on the microphone. But Logan Paul low-key fucking roasted LA Knight on that last promo, being like, you ain't nothing but a mid-card talent. You never had a WWE moment, defining moment. And I was like, oh, that shit hit deep, Logan. What the fuck? Is he wrong, though? That's what hurts the most. Is he wrong? But
I didn't know about that one.
yeah, he said that shit to fucking LA Knight in a promo, and I was like, ooh, maybe that's why LA Knight was stiff. He's like, all right, All right, motherfucker, you want to say that? All right, boom, boom. And I thought this was a great match. Getting to the match finally. This is the match that I thought CM Punk and Drew should have had, that I thought Braun Breaker and Sammy should have had. This is my personal match of the night. This one match of the night award for me. And I thought it was great. I love the stories. I love the moments. I love the match. We've seen a fucking brainbuster from the top rope. I ain't ever seen that. Well, if I have seen that move, it's been a very, very, very long time. That LA Knight, especially LA, I've never seen LA Knight do a brainbuster from the top rope. And he almost killed Logan, but Logan was okay, luckily.
I don't remember that spot. I was watching it, but I don't remember the brainbuster.
Oh, it's great. It's dangerous. As I remember watching, and I was like, oh no. But he luckily, the way he landed it, Logan was okay. But I remember when I was watching it, I was really concerned because I was like, the angle he had him at, I was like, oh my God, he's got to do something. He's going to break his neck. But it ended up turning into a brain buster. Amazing. Logan Paul did a move I ain't seen before, where he like turned in midair, did a springboard backflip on the LA Knight, landed on his leg pretty harshly, so I was hoping he didn't break it. Luckily he didn't. But yeah, it was just hard hitting, all the hits, the stomps, the moves. It was nasty. It was LA Knight with an attitude, and I loved it. Gave Logan Paul a black eye. Just busted him up a little bit. It was a really fucking good fight type of match, and I didn't expect that.
Because it was personal if you think about it, and LA Knight stealing the Prime truck.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. I love that. I know a lot of people are like, well, the table, it didn't break. And it didn't break when they tried to go through it. I was like, I thought it worked because it's more painful when it doesn't break, you know?
Yeah.
Trust me, and trust Colt, because we've tried to go through. If they don't break, they hurt even worse. So I looked at it like, oh, like it hurt even more when I seen it.
Yeah, them tables, they be hurting if they don't break. I know, trust me.
Suck, man, when they don't break.
They don't. Yeah, it does. But yeah, that was my second favorite match of the night. If that's your gold star medal match, I respect that, because that was my second favorite match right there.
I'm gonna give it 5 star. 5 star, 5 star, 5 star.
You're giving it a 5?
Yep.
I'm also going to give it a 5. Like you said, that springboard move that Logan did, never seen that before.
What's up, Grande?
What up, Grande?
I ain't never seen it either, man. I didn't even know what that move was. I'm like, oh shit.
But it was, like you said, hard hitting, very good feud, very good storytelling. Everything was on point. Loved every second of it. And we have a new United States champion in LA Knight.
Yeah. With a new theme song too.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
Really enjoyed it.
Hell yeah, man. Definitely a great. I've noticed, man, for as much flack as Logan gets, most of his matches do get pretty high ratings and high praise. Like the Miz, him and the Miz having that tag team match that got high praise. Him and Roman.
Taker praised the match with him and LA Knight.
Yeah, for good reason, man. I mean, it did sort of remind me of an old school classic match, even though it had a lot of high flying, it had a lot of selling. And I do love that even though WWE does that high flying style, they sell. They don't do some AEW shit where, oh my God, an elbow. Oh my God, another elbow. Oh my God, a flying knee. Oh my God, a forearm. I'm like, bro, no one's selling shit.
Real quick. What was that? Remember what I sent you on Instagram? What was that?
That was awful is what that was.
That's your world champion, and you're making him look like a joke.
Yeah, that was horrible. Horrible.
Oh, gosh. Hey,
But
I'm sorry. You enjoy it. I don't know. I don't know how or why you do, but more power to you.
I don't know. I just don't know how people could still pay money for those pay-per-views. Pay money, your hard-earned money, $60 on a
Yeah.
fucking show where no one sells anything. You gotta look at Jericho's old ass on TV, botching. Can't fucking wrestle like he used to. MJF trying his best, every match trying his best, but they're like, we're gonna give you Samuel Garcia or Daniel Garcia, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, Daniel Garcia. We're gonna give you Daniel Garcia. Here you go.
I can't even watch it. I try.
Fucking awful, man.
So terrible.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking we should do an AEW discussion one of these times and talk about why it doesn't work right now.
For sure.
But
We'll
yeah,
get
man.
people angry at us.
Oh yeah, especially the marks.
Give me the hate.
But moving on from that match, we have the WWE Women's Championship match: Nia Jax versus Bayley. What are your thoughts on this one?
Still have not watched it.
Wow. Okay.
I've seen clips. I did see clips. It looked kind of brutal in some spots. And to anyone wondering why I didn't watch it, I went with a friend to go get food for everyone. They didn't have the order.
Yeah.
It charged me like 6 times. Money went back into the account, thankfully, because if not, I would be throwing fists with everyone. And then I text this guy. Okay, they didn't even get the order in. What do you want? He's like, go get hibachi.
I want hibachi. Thanks for that, by the way. I appreciate it. It was good.
It was good. It was better than Pizza Hut.
My man was running around, and I was like, "You just missed one of the best matches I've ever seen."
Oh no, I watched that match. I literally had my phone pulled up, and when we got to Pizza Hut, I restarted it and watched it, and was like in awe.
Yeah, I was like, I hope he's seen that because he had to sit through those first few couple matches. I was like, all right. Then you leave, then that match starts. And I'm like, oh my god, Colin's missing like a masterpiece.
Yep, but I did watch that. I just don't remember the Brainbuster spot. I'm gonna have to go walk back and look for that then.
Yeah, it's I don't know if they meant for it to be a superplex and it turned into a brainbuster, but it looked like it was planned and it looked good. Like it looked like it almost killed Logan. So it's pretty crazy.
Real quick, I'm gonna put my Snaky back.
All righty.
Say goodbye to the Snaky.
Later. But Nia Jax versus Bayley, I think the issue with this match is it was on this card. This is a very stacked card with a lot of storylines, a lot of rivalries, and I didn't even have a clue at this rivalry was happening. I didn't even know Nia Jax was feuding with Bayley until they announced SummerSlam, and I was like, "What?" And it's not a very good match, if I'm being honest. It's really not. It's slightly better, 2.5 out of 5. So it's slightly better than Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn, but not by much. There's more moves. There's more wrestling. There's no story. There's absolutely no story. There was absolutely no reason other than if you're just a fan of Bayley to root for Bayley. Nia Jax having this weird deal with Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton was definitely when the audience, I could just tell when the audience came back to life is when Tiffany Stratton came out. I think Tiffany Stratton has that star power.
I will say real quick, they did have a story because whoever won King or Queen of the Ring was gifted a title match at SummerSlam. So that's why Gunther and Priest were going at it, and that was why Bayley and Nia were going at it. There was a decent amount of story, but there wasn't anything I was like obsessed with it going in. I will say that. But I thought it was from what I've seen, I thought it was okay.
I don't
Nothing.
know. It just didn't. I don't think it needed to be on SummerSlam. This would have been a fine match for TV. If it was on SmackDown, I wouldn't really have had too much problems with it. But the fact of where it's placed on the card, the matches surrounding it, you're at SummerSlam. It didn't feel like a SummerSlam match. It felt like something I'd see on television. And I don't think Bayley, towards the end of her reign, was really doing any solid character work there. I love Bayley, but I did notice her big thing was role model. That was the big thing, that she's the role model. Kind of got lost towards the end. Like, I'll be honest, those last couple matches, there wasn't really much going on. It's weird. Going into Mania was great. After Mania was great. This and the last, whatever her last match was, just wasn't there. It wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on with Bayley, but something happened to where that character wasn't there. And
I think it's just she needs a new character at this point.
yeah, maybe. I think it could. I know she's wanting to bring back the hugger gimmick soon. She's debating it. I don't know. Nia Jax is a fine heel. Bayley is an okay babyface right now, but them wrestling together, that just wasn't what it could have been. It was slow. It was real drawn out, and I know what they were trying to do. Big versus small, David versus Goliath, heel versus babyface, the classic where the heel is bigger than the babyface. I do know what they were trying to do. I just don't think it needed to be on SummerSlam. So I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. Not a big fan of this one personally, but what would you rate this match?
From what I can see, I'll give it a 2.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, it just could have been better. Could have been better. We'll see what Nia does with the title. We're gonna we're gonna save the McIntyre and Punk match for last because that's gonna be a big fiasco. So we're gonna skip over that for right now. Moving on to my second favorite match of the night, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Gunther,
my favorite match,
versus Damian Priest.
Okay. Let me tell you, this match was my absolute favorite match of the card. It was hard hitting. It was brutal. We got blood from Gunther. Who in your mind thought that Priest would bust open Gunther?
I would have never seen that coming. I would have never seen that this match would have been as hard-hitting and as brutal as it was. Because I was thinking that they were going to have a good match, but I didn't think it was going to be this brutal.
These are the matches I love, are these hard-hitting matches. But here's the difference from WWE and AEW. They sell.
Yep.
AEW, you'll be seeing a dude hit 4 freaking stiff elbows to the face and just look at the guy and go, come on. These guys are going back and forth, and then an elbow comes, and then they're kind of like droggy, and they sell it like, oh, that hurt, and then they'll do a move on the other guy. But to me, this match was just amazing. The story between them two, the story with Priest in Judgment Day, the story between Priest and Finn. This match, I think, was if you had to give an Oscar to wrestling, that is the Oscar right there. That match won the Oscar for SummerSlam, and it was so good. I loved every second of it. I loved the hard hitting. I loved the chops. I loved the kicks. I love they didn't really use a lot of like high flying moves. It was just ground based, hard hitting. straight to the point. They don't like each other. We're going to kill each other.
It wasn't trying to rip off what other matches were doing. It was its
Mhm.
own thing. It wasn't trying to be traditional wrestling or high flying. It's hitting. It's a bunch of hits, man. Hard hits.
I will say there was a botch in it. I
don't
don't
think
know
I
if you
caught
caught
the.
it.
I
You did
don't
not
know.
get.
Maybe I
Remember
did.
I don't think you did because we would have talked about it because I caught it about 2 or 3 days later thinking about it. Did you notice when Priest hit that South of Heaven towards the end of the match, he rolled Gunther to the ropes?
Yeah, I think I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That was a botch. He should have hit him a little bit closer to the ropes because he rolled him to the ropes for some odd weird reason. And then pinned him. I was like, what? Now, to me, I don't blame either of them because, for one, Priest, you shouldn't have rolled him, but also Gunther, you know better to just, if you see you're out of position, roll into position.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I feel like that's what Gunther was going to do, but Priest kind of panicked, so he kind of went over because it kind of looked like he was Gunther was going to roll, but then Priest kind of was like roll, like making him roll, and I was like, Priest, what are you doing? And then Balor did his whole thing where like he put Gunther's foot on the rope, and Priest was like, what are you doing? And then Gunther was putting him to sleep, and then Priest fought out of it.
He had to put him in place to do the spot.
Mm-hmm. Then Priest fought out of it, went at Balor. Gunther came back, powerball, and he put him to sleep pretty much. And the last thing, because even you said this, and I will agree, the last thing Priest saw before he went night-night was Balor just giving him a smirk.
Yeah. As much as I love the wrestling in this match, that was my favorite moment. The story.
Mm-hmm.
I think the story is really good. And I thought the match was a solid 5-star match. Hard hitting, brutal. It's not my style. Like, I prefer LA and Logan style maybe more than the hard hits. That's just a preference. That's no matter who it is. It could be Taker and Shawn in there doing a match like that. And I'm like, I prefer your guys' wrestling type of matches more, but definitely nothing terrible. Hey, what's up, the Master of Fear? How you doing today? Welcome to the show.
And that's one I'll even say. It's like we all have different what's the word, preferences. You preferred LA and Logan. I preferred this because like I said, I prefer the hard hitting, beat the crap out of each other, bruised up type matches. Whereas I look at the wrestling matches like Logan and LA, where I'm like, okay, it was still good. I still loved it, but this match was just better for me personally.
I think if you like this style, I highly recommend to go back and watch like the 70s wrestling, because 70s wrestling is just like this, where it's bruises, it's marks, it's scratches, cuts, blood, hard hitting, with a little bit more of a wrestling touch. I think Gober's a good wrestler, but this was definitely more of a fight. This is what CM Punk and Drew McIntyre should have been, a fight. As they advertise it as a fight, but ironically, this was more of a fight than McIntyre and Punk.
We'll get into that.
And I loved everything about it. I loved the match. This and LA Knight versus Logan were the 2 5-star matches of the night for me. It's probably the best World Heavyweight title match they've had for this new title so far. I loved it. I love that Gunther won. I love the storyline between Drew and Finn. I'm looking forward to that. I thought it was nailed in every way possible. It was done extremely well, and it was a great match. And I've never seen someone get chopped where they bleed from their chest like that. So that's pretty cool moment right there. And I thought Damian brung it. I was hoping Damian wasn't going to try and do that high flying springboard stuff, because he can do it decent, but when it comes to the big matches, he usually botches it. And I'm just like, But he didn't really do a whole lot of that. It was more just kicks and hits and chops and hits and kicks, and it was a fight, man. It was a brutal, bloody fight, and I thought it was excellent. Yeah, 5 out of 5 for me, man. I can't.
This is the first time I'm going to be a Dave Meltzer, and I'm going to give it a 6 out of 5.
Yeah, I can't blame you there, man. It was an excellent match. Then we get into this interesting match. The main event of SummerSlam. It won't be the last match we talk about, but it is the main event of SummerSlam. The very talked about, the very debated, the very theorized about.
Okay,
Undisputed WWE Championship Bloodline Rules match. Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa.
what 1 second, because when we do these lives, I go on Facebook and I look at some things.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why. I just read that someone says Liv Morgan is a ripoff of Julian Hart.
Huh? Julian Hart was after Liv Morgan.
Julian Hart is the chick that's in the House of Black. That's that dark, creepy character.
Yeah. How? And she's nothing like her either.
Oh my god! I swear, wrestling fans are just the dumbest people
Yeah, man, that's weird.
ever. I swear on earth, because I don't.
There was a lot of
Anyway,
heat on this match, man. I've heard split down the middle reactions to this. Some people think it was a great match with a great ending. Then there are those people that say that Cody dropped the ball, that Solo dropped the ball, and that Roman Reigns saved the match. What are your thoughts on this one? Because it is interesting. I don't think it's as flawless as it could have been. It could have been a great match. I think it's a good match. I think it's a really solid match. I don't know if I'd give it a 4. I'd give it a 3.5. I think the glaring thing with this match is Solo Sikoa. I don't think he was ready for the main event yet. I think they pushed him real early, real fast into a WWE Championship main event match. And while he didn't disappoint necessarily, it just, when you got Jacob Fatu there, when you got Roman Reigns showing up, when you got Jey Uso doing his thing, when you got Jimmy doing his, like, Solo is sort of dropped by comparison to all the other people around him sometimes. And
go
ahead.
on.
Well, I just think like Jacob Fatu has more of a presence and more of an intimidation factor and more of a surprise.
All by a mile.
Solo is a very good character. I think that's
Yes.
what his strong suit is. He's a very good character. He's a very good heel. He knows how to get heat. Cody in this match, I've started to notice this, and I'm not saying it's a problem with Cody because all the top guys do this. And anybody can be like, well, Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper and this person. I'm like, no, they all did this. I've noticed that Cody Rhodes has a formula to his matches, and they're easy to watch. They're not complicated wrestling matches. They're not hard hitting usually. Well, he had a few. That's a lie. He had him and Brock did really good. But as the champion, and most of the, John Cena, CM Punk, Hulk Hogan, Batista, Triple H, you watch their matches, they have a very simple formula. Taker as well. Like they have a certain way they wrestle. And Cody, I've noticed he does that. But to have that style as a babyface, you got to have a strong heel to work off. And I think Solo is a good heel, talking, promo-wise, character-wise. And the match...
He wasn't a Roman heel.
No. That's probably the problem, is he wasn't able to live up to the shit that Jacob Fatu and Jimmy and Jay and Roman were all doing, and sort of fell short because of that. I don't know.
I feel like what it is right now, and there's two things that I will say. I thought the match was good for what we got. I feel like we could have got worse, but we could have got better at the same time. It's like in the middle ground.
I think we even said that after the match. I was like, it could have been a lot worse, because a lot of people were harsh on this match, and I was like, guys, it ain't the worst. It's pretty damn solid for what it is.
I feel like another reason why was because of the botch machine himself, one of the Tongos.
I love it. I want him to be the one that gets made fun of and like yelled at by Solo. Why would you do that? Why did you watch that? Make it his character.
I just want it to be his gimmick at this point. He goes to do something, he botches, and his solo's just out in the ring like this motherfucker right here, this guy.
Oops, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just trying to be cool.
You're not cool.
You guys are all so cool. And I just have this stupid little eye patch.
But my biggest thing with this match was definitely, I thought it could have been better, but it was good for what it was, because it could have been worse. It could have been a total botch fest, but it wasn't.
What up, movie fan? How you doing, Keen?
There's two things I'm starting to notice real quick that SmackDown, I feel like, needs to work on. Mainly one was Solo. I agree with you. He's not ready yet for that big moment. I feel like he still had a little bit of green in him, and you could see it. And it was like, okay, Cody's like, all right, I got you. I'll help you out. Yeah. The other thing is they got to start doing Cody as a champion better, in my opinion, because he's not doing terrible. But the issue is his run. He hasn't really, if you think about it, beaten someone clean.
That's true.
Roman, what happened? All those distractions happened and he won. He beat AJ. His first match with AJ, he won clean, I believe. Correct?
Yeah, he won that clean.
Okay. The I Quit match.
His mom got involved too, right? In that one.
His mom was involved with it. I don't understand why, but his mom was involved in it.
Yeah.
Logan, he had help with he beat him because of a Saudi guy helping him. And then
really? I didn't see that one.
It was like one of the ring announcers, one of the Saudi ring announcers helping him. Yeah, it was random. I don't remember. Who else did he feud with?
Him and AJ didn't have a third match, did they? They just had the I Quit match.
They had their one match. They had their wrestling match, which was phenomenal, Backlash. Then they had their other match at what was the French pay-per-view?
The French one, was that? They didn't have it at Clash.
Who did he fight at Clash? I don't think did he fight at Clash?
Maybe not.
I can't remember.
Because I know the France one was Backlash. That was when he faced AJ in the normal one-on-one match.
It was? What was the I Quit one?
That might have been Clash. Or was it?
It was Clash. It was Clash. It was.
Who did he face on Money in the Bank?
Oh, he had that tag team match with the Bloodline.
Yeah, okay, that I remember. Yep, that was actually a good match too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you see what I mean? He's beaten AJ clean once. He hasn't really beaten anyone else clean.
That's true.
It's always been distraction. It's always been interference, because in this match, he really didn't beat Solo clean.
No, Roman even pointed out, like, hey, man, it kind of is because of me you got that title. You know, he could use that in a promo too, but like, look, you almost lost that to Solo Sikoa. You know, that ain't looking very good right now, you know?
Exactly. So I feel like what they need to do is whoever he's going to feud with next, because it's not going to be Solo. It needs to be it's going to be Kevin. He has to beat Kevin clean, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
No interference, no nothing. A good, clean win over Kevin. And it sucks that it has to be Kevin, but he's got to start winning clean.
That's true. Especially since he's a babyface.
Yeah, because, he's still getting a lot of pop. He's still getting a lot of cheers and everything. But people are going to start to turn on him because they're going to start seeing, that, like you said, a formula with his matches. They're going to see, he keeps doing the same old stuff and he wins by the same old reasons. Interference or something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to start winning clean, in my opinion. If he starts winning clean, I feel like he'll be fine.
It'll make him better. It'll make him stick out a bit more, and it'll make him definitely be his own champion. And I agree with you. I think that it's more Cody had to rely on help to get wins and stuff. And they could use it in a storyline and be like, "Hey, you're a young champion. This is your first WWE title, like, or your first WWE championship. You know what I mean? Undisputed. You know, you say WWE titles, like, which one? It's like, dang it, the world, the WWE undisputed, universal heavyweight championship of the world." But um, it could be used in a storyline where you're a young champion, so you don't know how to really do that yet, but then you learn it, you grow as a champion, you get stronger, you get smarter, and then you're able to sort of win on your own and not have to rely on outside interference.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it will lead to that. I hope he can do a bit more as far as I also think his promos haven't really been the strongest lately, and his story moments tend to be similar. Like, okay, he comes out on SmackDown, and if it ain't the Bloodline that's backing him down, it's somebody else, and somebody else is involved, and he's always backed into the corner, and Kevin and Randy got to come out and save him, or he's always backed into the corner, he fights them all off, but he gets beat up, and then they say, "We'll see you next week." Like, it is very same, like, keeps happening, and I've noticed it. And the Bloodline shit, I'm like, is he going to feud with the Bloodline all year long, or is it going to be once in a while? If it's all year long, it'll be kind of annoying because you're going to have Kevin and Randy there because Cody can't beat the Bloodline by himself. So we'll see what they do. It's real interesting, the predicament they're in with Cody right now. I think Cody's doing as best he can with what he has. He's doing great as a champion, but I've been noticing things that could be improved and fixed, and to where he's not as predictable or formulaic. And despite that, I thought the match was solid. Of course, the big moment for me was Roman coming back. Roman's back. The
Agreed.
OTC is here. Roman is fucking over as fuck right now. And I was like surprised. I knew he was going to get cheered, but he fucking blew the building up. And like, I don't know, they might pull a fucking 180 and give the belt back to Roman if it keeps going in this route, because you know how the numbers game is with the champions. If someone draws, they draw. And like Roman, if he continuously comes out and gets 5 million views on his videos and Cody's getting 500,000 views, and then Roman's merch is selling out, Cody's is kind of dwindling, Roman is drawing the ratings on TV and Cody isn't, that's the things they look at for the champion. So they might give it back to Roman if, you know, I don't think they will. I think Cody will grow into it. I think he's going to be elevated because of this. I think he elevated Roman, and Roman's going to elevate him. They're both going to get elevated in the storyline. And I think they're both going to be valuable players because Cody is over. Cody has #1 merch sales. Cody gets the good ratings. It's just that Roman came back, and it was like a fucking strike of lightning. Like, made millions and millions of dollars off of his merch, millions and millions of dollars off of his TV appearances, and millions of dollars off of his video views on YouTube and shit. So, you know, it's pretty cool. It's cool seeing Roman as a face. It's cool with the storyline. I love the storyline of him going after the false prophet, the false tribal chief. I love that shit. So that's definitely, I'm more of a story guy with that. So like the story to me is more interesting than like the match was. But I thought it was a good 3.5 out of 5 for me. Solid match. But Roman Reigns was the part where I was like, okay, this is cool. Because I was wondering, somebody's got to come out here. And of course it was Cody and Randy, but I was thinking it was going to be the Hardy Boys. That was not happening. So it was a cool moment, man. They gave the people, the fans, what they wanted to see. People wanted Roman at SummerSlam. They got Roman at SummerSlam. So I appreciate that.
I would say for me, I give it would you give it?
I gave it a 3.5.
I'd give it a 3.5.
It was a solid match. The big moment was Roman coming back. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now Roman is just so fucking over right now as a baby. It's incredible. Like when he came to the arena, the pop was so loud that the audio equipment was glitching on the video. If you listen to it carefully, the audio was like going in and out because of how loud the fucking pop was.
Shit, that pop
fucking god.
was crazy.
But to move on to our last match of the evening, folks, we're going to talk about special guest referee match. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, the grudge match of the century. Yeah, right. Oh boy. Before I get into this match, I want to say, growing up, I was a big fan of CM Punk. I was. I remember the first time I actually seen CM Punk wrestle on TV. Me and my friend were watching one of the WrestleManias. I think it was WrestleMania 25 or 24. Whatever ones he won back to back. I think it was 24 and 25, right?
Money in the Bank?
Yeah, because he won it like twice in a row.
It was 24 and 25.
So I think it might have been WrestleMania 24, the Florida one. We've seen him, or whatever was the first one he won his Money in the Bank. And from there on, I watched his promos. I was a big fan all the way up until 2014. He left, came back. Of course, I marked out when he came back to AEW because I'm like, oh my God, CM Punk is back in wrestling. And it was a good moment. You know, it was a very memorable moment. CM Punk returns. And then I noticed real quickly that we had a problem here. There was a definite problem with CM Punk. Because I was like, all right, the UFC shit, that's whatever. All right, this over here, him complaining about WWE all the time, whatever. Let's just see what he's doing now. In AEW, fresh start, let's see what he's doing. And I noticed real quick he was beating everyone. Even though he said he was going to go there and put over young talent. And I realized, like, man, he really hasn't put a lot of people over, if you think about it. He may have been beat by a lot of people, but did he make them look stronger because of it? I've always wondered that. Like, is there a match where you could say someone beat him and they elevated themselves? I don't know. But that's just besides the point. In AEW, I noticed he was beating a lot of people. He went undefeated, became AEW champion real fast. And while he was over there, he was saying how great it was and everything is relaxed and kicked back, and he's not in WWE anymore. He didn't even count his history in WWE. Then, of course, injuries happen. And then I'm watching these matches he's having, and they're not that good. They're very botchy. They're very slow. They're very sloppy. The storylines aren't that good. And promos, CM Punk's promos weren't that good either, because he was starting that whole corporate babyface Punk in AEW. That's where it all started. And if you go and listen to MJF and Eddie Kingston's promos, man, they're right what they say about Punk. Like, he's PG Punk. He cares about insert name of town. I'm so glad we're working in insert name of promotion. Like, I do think there's truth in there to those statements. And I don't think he's a horrible guy or anything. I just think he's not the CM Punk that we all desperately try to cling on to and remember and want him. And I know a lot of people are, oh my God, but Nate, the bracelet and the storyline and you know, he's back. CM Punk is back. I just don't see it, man. I think it's funny to me that Punk left AEW after saying all that shit about AEW. How it was good and how it was great and da-da-da. Then he leaves and it's like, well, no, it's all bad. They were ran horribly and da-da-da. And WWE, oh, they're great. They're wonderful. Even though you talk shit about Triple H for all that time, now you're taking pictures with them and hugging him and shaking his hand and being like, it's like, I don't know. And then they want him to be a baby face. And he's talking about how he's for the people, represents the people. And he's a part-timer, and his promos are awful, and his matches are kind of greatest hits of CM Punk rather than a new CM Punk match. And when he was in AEW, he was fucking quote unquote tributing matches, but he fucking ripped off matches from Bret Hart and other people. Blatantly. Xerox matches with people from other matches. Like, there's just too many red flags for me where I'm like, I've lost respect for CM Punk. Because he went back on everything he said. Everything he promised, everything he said, he went back on. And he talked all that shit. And he's come back for money. That's all he wants is money. And these people will continue to pay him money over and over and over again. And he's got his fans, you know, by the balls. Like, he's getting money from them constantly. His merch is horrible. It's so lame right now. His promos are lame. And the Drew and CM Punk feud, to get into this, I think it was one of the most disappointing feuds of the year. I really do. And they threw in Seth Rollins last minute to be like, oh, yeah, that's right. Seth Rollins was involved in this rivalry. So we'll make him a special guest referee last minute. Then when he comes out on Raw, he's going to say, well, don't worry, guys. We're not going to get a fight tonight between these guys. We're going to get bickering and whining and complaining for 10 minutes about, I hate you. No, I hate you. No, I hate you. You did this. You did that. You're a troll. No, you're a troll. It's so fucking petty. And they want you to love CM Punk and think he's a underdog and the sympathetic baby face. And I'm like, no, don't feed me this horse shit. It's just, to me, a bunch of political BS. And I thought the match was mid. 3 out of 5. MJF, straight up mid. It's all mid. McIntyre, to me, is doing good. Seth Rollins is doing good. CM Punk. Just every element leading up to this match. The promos, the merch, the way he carries himself now, the way he talks to the people, the way he milks these crowds. He's become John Cena. He's become the dynasty that he talked about so long ago, and talked about how, well, I didn't get my WrestleMania main event and and I didn't do this and that. It's like, that's why you're back, man. You're back to get your WrestleMania main event. You're back to beat Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. You're back to maybe eventually become a WWE champion again. You're going to get your money and you're going to leave. And you're going to sit on your couch and be a part-timer until then. So that's just my personal feelings on it. Like, CM Punk, the positive I can give to you is that, hey, there are people out there that love CM Punk and they're seeing him do all this stuff and their dreams are coming true. That's good for them. I'm not going to take that from them. If they want to have their dreams and seeing CM Punk back and this is what they've always wanted to see, that's awesome. That's great. Good for them. But to sit there and be blind to everything CM Punk does, and I've heard people legit say that AEW wouldn't exist without CM Punk, that WWE wouldn't exist right now without CM Punk, giving all this credit to CM Punk. And I'm like, guys, first of all, that pipe bomb that you guys talk about, that was written. You know who wrote that pipe bomb? CM Punk, Triple H, and I think a few other people. So it wasn't just CM Punk. It wasn't all just CM Punk. And I don't understand why ever since he's come back, he's become the Lord and Savior of wrestling. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get the hype anymore with CM Punk. He's hurt all the time. His matches are okay at best. He botches a lot. His promos are horrible. I don't even really like this new version of his new theme song. I mean, it's okay, but I prefer the old version over the new version. That's just sort of how I look at Punk. I prefer the old CM Punk, the older one, to the whatever this new CM Punk is. And unless he turns heel and gets an edge to him and starts to do something a little different, to me, he's just back to make some money, to get some main event spots, to get some world titles, and that's all he's going to do. And he's just going to leave like he did everything else. Just going to leave and go and use the money that we all gave him to go do other stuff that he wants to do. So that's all I got to say about CM Punk in this match. I think the match itself was okay. It was great hit to CM Punk. You get the corner attack with the running bulldog. You get Drew McIntyre in there. He was doing good. The bracelet shit, I want to get to this too because a lot of people are like the bracelet.
Oh,
The
here I say you
bracelet
gotta
is
mention this.
silly.
It's stupid.
Absolutely silly.
It's stupid.
It is. It's a bracelet with AJ and his dog's name on it, and that's why CM Punk is out for blood. That's why he wants his pound of flesh. That's why he wants his revenge. I'm like, it's a $3 little itty bitty bracelet. Like, what the fuck? And people are eating this shit up, and people are calling it 5-star, 5-star. People are saying it's classic, greatest greatest Drew McIntyre feud, greatest feud at SummerSlam. I'm like, y'all need to fucking chill out with this bullshit.
The thing me and you talked about was if the bracelet, hold on, I had to get a charger. If the bracelet would have been a wedding ring, it would have been better.
Yeah,
because it's more memorable.
mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it literally looks like a child made that bracelet, like a $5 Wish knockoff bracelet. And if it was a wedding ring, it would look 100 times better because, for one, it's more personal. Drew took that, that's something that Punk, got because he got married. That's his way of showing his wife and all this. And maybe if they wanted to bring in his dog, have him kidnap the dog.
Yeah, exactly. Go for it if you're going to go for it.
Right.
Because the wedding ring, that would have been so crazy if he would have pulled the wedding ring, or if he couldn't. People are like, well, what if he couldn't get the wedding ring off? Then have him wear a necklace with the wedding ring on it or something. Have it to where he can get the wedding ring, steal it. Good moment. Real personal. He stole that man's fucking wedding ring. Okay, exactly. That's fucking personal. Oh, he kidnapped his fucking dog. Or, give the dog a little bit of a bump. What I mean by that is have the dog on the ringside and have Drew go over and either yell at it or go over and give a little kick and leave. Because it won't hurt the dog, but just give it a little shove and people will be like, oh, you asshole, you kicked this dog. Like, if they would have went for it, they just didn't go for it. And it feels so petty. It all started because Drew McIntyre prayed and wished that Punk would get injured and did a couple internet memes and put CM Punk stuff all over his shirts. Then CM Punk screws Drew McIntyre over again and again and again, and yet we're still supposed to be like, oh, this CM Punk is the baby face. Seth and Drew are the heels. Fuck that. I don't buy that. That is bullshit. Spoon-fed bullshit. And these fans that would turn on guys like Batista and, John Cena and Triple H and all these other guys, Goldberg, they all hate these dudes when they do this. But no, CM Punk being a part-timer and only showing up to talk for a little bit, then leave and not even wrestle, and him wanting to put himself in main events and shit, that's fine. He can do that. But, all the other guys can't do that because they're assholes and they got egos. And I'm like, I don't understand that. I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. How are you not fair about it? It's just, I don't get it, man. I really don't. And I don't even know where the storyline's going because you bring in Seth. Okay, cool. Are we going to get Seth versus him at Bad Blood? Nope. We're going to get Seth attacked by Bronson Reed, therefore taking him out the storyline again. And it'll be Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins at Bad Blood. Thus, we get a rematch with Drew and Punk again. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? Why? What are we doing?
Just
the
so
only
Punk
excuse I have is they're wanting to milk the storyline and make as much money from it as possible. That's the only thing I can think of. What was that?
It's pretty much for Punk to get that win back.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Because to me, the storyline should have ended at it should have ended with Drew winning. I have a bad feeling that we might get 3 matches. We might get one at Bash at Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Bad Blood.
Oh, great. I don't know, man. I'm just not looking forward to it. It's just the obvious feud was Seth and Punk, but I don't know if they just didn't want to turn Seth or Punk heel, so they were like,
Thing,
we'll
the
throw in
thing
Drew.
is, the thing is that's aggravating to me. If you watch that SummerSlam match, Punk is a freaking heel right now.
Mm-hmm.
He GTS Seth for no reason. Just because he had the bracelet.
Yeah.
That's a heel move. That's a D-bag move because he wouldn't have done that if that would have been another ref.
Nope.
Because in every match, they always have a ref. If something comes off, they grab it, they put it in their pocket, or they grab it, they put it on.
Mm-hmm.
If another ref would have done that, would he have done the same thing? Probably not. But since it was Seth, he goes, "Oh, you're messing with me." He's like, "Brother, I picked it up and put it on. What's the big deal here? Focus on your match."
He cost himself the match. And then what's weird is on Raw the next day or a couple days, he's like smiling and being like, I'm happy that I lost at SummerSlam. I'm happy that all that happened. I'm grateful. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What is these promos, my guy? These promos suck. Like, they don't make any fucking sense. And I'm just like, I wish it would just make sense. He's happy. He's like, I'm happy. I got to go there and I got to beat up Drew. I'm like, you fucking lost, my guy. I did lose, but I represent the people. Okay, and that makes you happy?
So
no, what makes you happy is the money you got from SummerSlam. That's what made you happy. Oh, I'm losing? Shit. What? Oh my God, the paycheck. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not gonna complain, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. That's all he was happy about was his fucking pay stub. I don't know, man.
I would.
Did you ever listen to his interview where he talked about his match with Taker and how he was pissed off when he was wrestling Taker, and when he got out of there, he walked up to Vince and was like, just pay me my money, pay me what you owe me. Oh, I bet you fucking did, man. I bet you did, because it didn't matter that you fucking wrestled the Undertaker. First thing you were asking for was your paycheck. It's like, man, just listen to the guy fucking talk for 10 minutes in a shoot interview, and you can tell what kind of person he really is compared to what he's trying to sell you. He's a very good seller, trying to sell you who he is.
So I was you. I was a CM Punk mark back in 2012 till he left, pretty much. I loved him. I thought he was a cool wrestler. I thought he was a cool guy. But then I got older, and then stuff came out. Granted, I understand he got injured because of Ryback not knowing how to properly put someone through a table. So I give him that.
Yeah.
But then to bash the company that you worked for, that made you into who you were, pitiful, sad. To walk out on the fans that cared about you, that loved you, that supported you just because you didn't get what you wanted, sad.
Mm-hmm.
Pitiful. To go to another company and say that other company, nothing happened in that company. That company is dead. I am who I am because of me. No, you are who you are because of that company, whether you want to admit it or not. You can be in the wrong, you can be in the right. Now, two difference here. You were very excited when he came back. I was bitter and hateful.
Yeah, I was, man. I had hope. I was like, oh shit, this could be what we got. Because that nostalgia, man, he uses that nostalgia to hook people because we so desperately want to see the CM Punk that we used to have. But it's just not there. He uses it as a facade to be like, oh yeah, CM Punk is back and he's smiling again and he's a baby face and aren't you ready to have some fun?
Baby face?
Yeah, then 2 months later, I work in this place. I work with fucking children. I fucking hate everything. I'm like, you were just smiling 2 months ago. Now it's you hate everything. My guy, you're the world champion. They're all immature. Who the fuck cares? You're the world title holder, man. How about you worry about yourself rather than trying to run a fucking company? Like, I will say, CM Punk was not totally in the wrong. He wasn't.
No,
There was a
I
lot of
would
shitty things
with
that were
that.
done to him in AEW. There was a lot of shitty things going on.
And they
But
made it seem like it was all his fault.
yeah. So I definitely side with Punk when it comes to most of what AEW did. Jack Perry, in a way, deserved what happened to him because he was being a dickhead. But at the
I wish he
same
would have
time,
punched him.
yeah, at the same time, when you have the world title, you're beating all these people, and you're still gonna step in and be like acting like you run shows and you're in charge in some ways, and you know, even though Hangman Page was in the wrong, you're still gonna go back and fight with people and shit. I don't know. AEW's more in the wrong, but CM Punk still did shit where I'm like, well, I'm still not gonna forget that he fucking buried most of those people in that company on the way to the title and became undefeated. I think he was only beat like 3 times by Samoa Joe, Moxley, and MJF. I think that was it.
I think you're right.
And
I
it just
can't.
his matches weren't that good. I watched most of his matches back, and other than the dog colored match with MJF, which everyone talks about, all the other matches are like mid. They're okay. They're a bit slow, a little bit
Matches
botchy.
Joe was, I thought, good.
Okay, that was good too. That was a good one. I like that one too. But it's Samoa Joe and Punk. Like
They got
they're
history.
they're gonna have a banger on a bad night. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like that's like Taker and Shawn. Like they're never gonna have a bad match.
I don't know. When it comes to Punk, everyone was happy he came back to AEW. I was the one who sniffed through the BS as soon as it happened. I'm like, he's here just to get money and do what he couldn't do in WWE. Main event pay-per-views and do things that, he couldn't do in WWE because they didn't let him, because AEW is not run by a boss. It is run by children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like I said, I don't agree with everything he said, but at the same time, I understand where he was coming from with the simple fact of them always going down his neck when it was Hangman or the Bucks or even Omega doing something stupid. Mainly the Bucks and Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it just felt like there was some things that should be changed with AEW, and it didn't get changed, so we just got the crap end of everything with Punk.
Yeah.
So I do feel for him for that. But everything else, I'm like, brother, you are a veteran. You should not be winning these matches. You should be putting over these guys, but you don't.
Over here saying that he's carrying these companies on his back and he's the only one that's making money, and I'm like, my guy, there is people like Moxley and all these other people, but I guess I understand what you mean. Like Punk did bring them to the next level, but to sit there and be like, I'm the only guy that kind of matters in AEW, it's like, what the fuck, my guy? Weird, man. It was weird.
The match, I thought, okay. Looking back on it, because I said it to you, I first rated it a 4.5.
Yeah, that blew me away. I was like, what?
Then I thought about it, and I thought about all the crap we had to witness with this rivalry, with a bracelet, with Seth getting involved, with all this extra stuff that didn't need to be involved, but was involved anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The match was getting knocked down to a 2.5.
Oh, wow. Holy shit, man. What happened?
Well,
That's lower than
first off, the story I thought was terrible. The bracelet, it's a bracelet. Bro, go have your wife make another one. Go get it off of Wish. Let's see. Seth getting involved was not needed. We should have just got Seth and Punk to begin with. Why they put Drew in this, I don't understand. Having Drew get at least one win, thank you on that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Number 2, the way his fans, the way that he's booked, I cannot stand it for 2 reasons. One, if you think this man's a babyface, you are dumb. This man literally, we're not dumb. You have an opinion that I just don't agree with. This man GTS the ref just because he held on to his bracelet. Big whoop.
Yeah.
This man, whether you want to agree with it or not, cost Drew McIntyre more than he's cost him.
He cost him his WrestleMania moment, his Money in the Bank moment, freaking blew a kiss to his wife.
Clash.
Yeah, and his own fucking home country screwed him over.
It's like, how is that a face when the only thing that happened with Punk was he got injured?
He got injured, he got beat up because he cost Drew the match.
Exactly. Because Drew said, I'm tired of this.
I can't blame him. I'm Team Drew and Seth.
Same.
I'm with him.
Like, yeah.
I have more sympathy for Seth, who got totally screwed over in his match.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, and Drew over here having these moments, he earned them, he won them. And then, no, Punk's got to go there and do this and that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, Punk didn't just cost Drew at Money in the Bank. He cost Seth.
Mm-hmm.
But now that Gunther has it, it don't really matter.
Yeah, true.
But still, imagine if Gunther wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
To me, like I said, it just feels like it could have been better. I was expecting a lot more out of that match than what it was. I expected fists to be thrown, haymakers, everything in between. And I didn't get any of that. I got 2 grown men arguing over a bracelet. And you screwed me. No, you screwed me. No, you screwed me.
It's like, shut up already.
Both of y'all shut up.
I'm like drama queens. What happened to CM Punk?
Like, it ain't that hard, my guy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I thought the match was mid, man. It was mid. It was CM Punk doing what he usually does, you know, pulling out the moves that we've already seen before tons of times. You could kind of tell he was blowing up a bit. I mean, I'll give him this. He didn't get hurt again. He didn't slow down that much, but I could tell the ring rust is there. And I think he could get better. Like, to look at the positives a bit more. It's very hard, but to look at the positives, I think Punk just needs to wrestle more. But the problem is, the more he wrestles, the more he's going to probably get hurt. But the more he wrestles, the better he'll get at wrestling. He'll get that ring rust off. So his problem is he'll wrestle and either just take time off for months and just sort of sit at home, or he'll get hurt and take time off and just sort of sit at home, or he'll get suspended and take time away and go home. So he doesn't really have time to shake off the ring rust. And that AEW stuff, you could tell, especially towards the beginning, it was rough. There was a lot of botches in there that people just overlooked, me included in that, so I'm not perfect. Because I remember saying that him versus Hangman was a 5 out of 5, and I'm like, no. No.
What were you smoking back then, my guy?
I was such a fucking mark for CM Punk at that time. And like, I was so happy he was back. I just didn't give a fuck. I'm like, no matter. So I know what it feels like to be like, I don't give a fuck what quality it is as long as we get CM Punk. That was the mindset I had. But when it gets to be undeniable, to where you're looking at it and you're like, dude, it's just, I can't deny it. It's just not as good as it once was. And it's not even as good as some of the other shit on the show right now. And CM Punk doesn't really fit WWE right now. It's great to see him back. I love it. loved the moment of him coming back because we thought we would never see that again. WWE, no, he's done with WWE. But it was a magical moment of him coming back. But once we look at him in this roster, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, it's weird having him there because he's not too old to be a part-timer, but he's not young enough to hang and be as fast as some of the younger guys. So he's a weird placed guy in the show, and we don't see him a whole lot. But when you do see him, you're supposed to be like, marking out and, having, just cheering him away when you do see him. It's very weird the way they placed him on WWE's roster because he's not a full-time wrestler. He's not what you would expect, like him showing up and putting guys over on Raw or having storylines here and there. Much more relaxed schedule for him. And I kind of wonder if they would do that for Edge, if Edge came back. Like, give him the CM Punk schedule,
I don't think Edge is coming back.
No, me either. I think he's going to retire. I think Daniel Bryan's going to retire there as well.
Again, I'm going to say this real quick. I know we're on the CM Punk thing, but to me, Edge and Daniel Bryan lost a lot of credibility to me going there and retiring when they could have retired where they were made pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I could understand more for Bryan if he went to Ring of Honor and he retired. But even then, if it wasn't for this company, you wouldn't be who you were. You'd be another jobber that everyone would forget about in like 2 months.
Yeah, a lot of them do the same thing where they go to AEW and they just immediately are like, this is the funnest I've ever had in my life. This is the funnest wrestling company I've been in. This is the most fun. This is the best. I'm just like, so all that shit in WWE wasn't fun? I mean, I get it. It got corporate for a while, but come on, man. The early days were at least fun, Ed. Come on, man.
Yeah, like him saying, like, this is the most fun he's had. Come on, bro. Mick Foley and you killing each other at WrestleMania. That wasn't fun.
Yeah, and you're telling me that Daniel Bryan's over here like, no, I prefer AEW style over WWE's. Come on, man. Really? Really? I mean, I get it. You're an indie wrestler, but come on, man. Is that really what you feel?
So you want to die. That's what it is.
I hope is tonight All Out or All In? Or is it next week?
I think it's next week.
Yeah, that's the only match that I'll probably watch from that show is him versus Swerve because I do want to see Danielson's last match. But if he wins that world title, that means he's going to probably pull a John Cena and go on a retirement tour or something, Like,
Maybe.
well, I am champion, so I don't necessarily have to retire, but next year will be my last year. Yay. I'm like, really, bro? Really? But yeah, to get to the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre stuff, I do think there's some positives here. I think Drew and Seth did their best, man.
Yeah.
They did their best. They were trying. It's just that you're dragging Punk along. You're just dragging him like he's asleep and he's shackled to Drew and Seth, and they're having to drag him through the storyline. And you look at his face, you look at how he looks, he don't give a fuck. He's just like, I'm here, pay me. I'll talk a little bit, take a bump or two, and just pay me. I'm just like, come on, man. I don't know. I do have respect, though, for him going up to Rhea and talking to her and telling her and calming her down and telling her that, she's a superstar and stuff. That was cool of him to do.
I will always give him respect, whether I trash him or not. He did some things, whether I want to admit was fantastic or not. He had me in the palm of his hands at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of wrestlers can say they can do that. Him, Pac, Alistair, they all are like one of my favorites because they knew how to use something that would make me like it.
Yeah.
Now, as a human being, I could care less about Punk. There's a difference, and you can separate the two with pretty much Punk as a wrestler, he has his goods, he has his fault. Punk as a human, I wouldn't trust him with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, it's just like The Rock, man. Just like The Rock, just like some of these other people in there, they get those egos. I notice when wrestlers get to a certain age, they get those egos. They get big-headed. They think they can't be touched. You know, they think that they can just go in and make money and leave and not have to worry about the consequences and not have to work and be one of the boys. Like, to me, being one of the boys is working every night, making your shows, making your dates, busting your ass, having those good matches, making the big towns and the little towns, and just working. So to me, Punk may say, and everybody else, like, no, he is one of the boys. Like, he's not. He don't fucking wrestle with them. He wrestled like 2 matches so far, maybe 3 if you consider the Royal Rumble as a match. You count it, which I guess you could because it is. But he's only had like 3 matches, and one of them was a dark match. And it's just like, dude, he's not one of the boys. Like, come on. He's just a guy wanting to get paid, showing up, and I'm here. Here's more T-shirts.
They literally are reselling his old T-shirts.
Yeah. Here's some more merch. Buy it. Please buy it. Like, bro, I know. After knowing this man for so long and knowing how he is, I see how he operates, man. He's just trying to get some money.
I still ain't gonna lie. I do want that Hell Froze Over shirt. I still want that.
I dig that. And I thought in the beginning there was a lot of cool factor there because it's like, oh shit, CM Punk is in the WWE. Holy shit. But if you think about it, they didn't capitalize on it. They were just like, oh, I'm here. Everything's great. Disappears for a while. Oh, I'm back. I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. Gets in the Royal Rumble. Gets hurt. I'm hurt. I'll see you guys later. Disappears for a while. Comes back. I'm here. I'm not cleared yet. I'll see you guys in a little while. Disappears again. Comes back. Drew McIntyre. I prayed you'd get injured. Oh, really? You're a dickhead. I'm going to feud with you now.
You prayed I got injured. Ew.
How dare you? I'm CM Punk, man. You can't do that.
Give him an emo voice.
But what would you give? Oh, yeah, you already gave your rating. That's really surprising that you dropped it that low. I mean, I see it, man. It's just disappointing. It's disappointing. It's a mid match. Is it horrible? Not really, but it's cringe. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Punk, it doesn't make sense at all what he's doing right now. I don't know what the hell he's trying to do, but it ain't working, and he needs to try something else because this ain't working. I feel bad for Drew and Seth because they have to drag this man sleeping on his sofa through these storylines, and I just don't know, man. I don't look forward to him versus Drew. I think him and Seth is where the money's at, but I truly do believe that they don't want to turn them either baby or heels. They don't want to turn them heel.
Him and Seth is where the money's at, and to me, they shouldn't have to turn Seth heel to make this work.
Mm-mm.
They should make Punk turn heel.
But they need babyface Punk to be up against the big, mean, nasty Seth Rollins heel, you know?
Which I don't understand because Seth has done nothing wrong besides say he hates him.
Yeah.
Is that like the biggest issue? I hate you, so you're a heel now.
Yeah, you were a bad guy. He said he didn't like him. He's a bully.
Oh.
But anyways, man, we're going to go ahead and close off the show here. What did you think overall about SummerSlam this year?
As a whole, I give it a good, solid 4.
Mm-hmm.
Good matches. And then there was meh matches.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't flawless. It wasn't perfect. I know it doesn't have to be. But I thought even despite how good it was, there was some things in there that I had issues with. There were storylines that I'm looking more forward to seeing them in the future rather than this card. But overall, out of 5, I'm going to give it a 4 as well. It's a solid show, a lot of fun, felt big. The crowd was good.
In my opinion, there was 3 matches that helped this show be a 4. It could have been, and honestly, it could have been a 3 or a 2.5. But to me, the 3 matches that helped save this pay-per-view was LA and Logan, Damian and Gunther in the main event, and I'll throw in Liv and Rhea.
Yeah.
Because that was a good match, and the story's a lot better than the Punk and Drew. Because if you think about it, the story's been going on longer because Rhea turned on Liv, so and then cost Liv a while of her career. So that's why Liv is doing
that's true. I remember that.
Even though, Rhea, everyone loves Rhea, Liv does have right there for you, but at the end of the day, you like who you like. But to me, it was definitely a 4. Honestly, I think best. So I'm gonna say this. Let's do this. Let's give 3 matches you thought were the worst match, a mid match, and the best match. I'll let you go first.
So my three favorite matches of the night were definitely the main event, Cody and Solo. I thought LA Knight. Oh, what's that?
Not the best 3. The worst, the mid, and the best.
Oh, okay, I got you. Mid, CM Punk and Drew for sure. Disappointing. Should have been way more than it was. I'm over it. I want CM Punk to go away for a while and do something else. Have him go sign pictures, do charity. I don't know. Go do something else for a while. Worst, unfortunately, I'd give it to Sammy and Braun. Although I thought it was going to be a great match, I do think it was definitely the worst match of the night. It could have been so great. And it's the big stage. His father and his uncle were there to watch him win the IC title. There's a lot of good stuff there. Just the match wasn't that good. Best match of the night, it's hard because there's 3 really good ones. I give the 2 of them, I give a 5. The other one, I give a 3.5. But those are the 3 good matches. I am going to give it to LA Knight and Logan. I think it's because it surprised me because I expected Gunther and Damian to do something. But LA Knight and Logan being as much of a hard-hitting fight as it was and how much high-flying risks were taking and how much of a risky match it was and how crazy it was, it blew me out of my goddamn seat. I was like, holy crap, this match is next level. And it was just, I was texting Colton freaking out. I'm like, this match is amazing, dude. It's great. And that's my favorite one of the night for sure.
So my favorite was obviously Gunther and Priest. And this is where you might be a little surprised or you might be, mid. My mid was Breaker and Sammy.
Oh.
The worst was Punk and Drew.
Oh, okay. I like it. Can't blame you there at all, pal.
To me, the reason why Sammy and Braun was better to me than Punk and Drew was their rivalry was better because it wasn't off of freaking bracelet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It wasn't off of, I prayed for you to get hurt. It was off of, let's see who the better man is. And, Breaker's this new untouchable thing and Sammy beat him, but then Breaker's like, oh, we're not done yet. And then they went back at it. Because to me, Punk and Drew, not me, not into it. The story was just bad. I look back on it and I'm just like, bro, what? Like, there's just no point. Like, they're feuding because one got hurt, the other was mad because he cost One got mad because he was like, "Oh no, you hurt me. You prayed that I got hurt, and then it happened. So I'm gonna cost you all these opportunities, and then when you get sick of it, I'm still not cleared, but you'll beat me up. And then SummerSlam, oh, I'm cleared, and we get to wrestle, and it was terrible. It wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. They're probably saying it for bad blood, but they could have done something.
I was going to ask you, do you think they're going to have a better match at Bad Blood?
I would hope so.
Like, I think it might be like a hardcore match or something.
It has to be something, because if it's not better than that SummerSlam match, we got a problem.
They got problems. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If it's not even as good as a SummerSlam match, we definitely got problems. But the bad thing is that the more intense it gets, the more I wonder about Punk. Can he handle getting hit with steel chairs and going through tables and getting thrown off ladders and kendo sticks and trash cans? Like, is his body able to take those big bumps, and is he able to be okay after a match like that? Because those matches take a lot out of you.
I feel like he can, but I could be completely wrong.
We'll see. I've heard rumors that it might be a Hell in a Cell match too, but I don't think it'll be a Hell in a Cell. I think it'll be like a street fight or something.
I hope it's the Hell in a
Extreme
Cell
Rules match. Yeah, I can definitely see why you would say that though as your least favorite.
It just was
for sure. And I'm assuming your favorite is Gunther versus Damien.
Yeah.
That's another great one.
And then second favorite was Logan and LA Knight, and then Rhea and Liv, and then honestly Bailey and Nia.
Really?
I don't know. There's just so many things with the whole thing. It's got a lot of problems with.
It's just the match just sticks out so much on that card, and it's just something about it. It just went wrong in so many ways, and it could be better. Hopefully, their matches can get better, but I'm just not. The storyline isn't interesting to me. They've already said everything they can say. Like my boy Drew can only say I hate someone so many times before it's like, okay, this is getting old, man. Like, y'all need to fucking squash this beef right now. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, a very solid SummerSlam show. I think it was pretty good. I don't know if it was better than the last 2 years SummerSlams. Maybe it was. I know it was way better than that one SummerSlam where fucking Bianca got beaten in like 2 seconds by Becky. I know it was better than that SummerSlam. But the past two were really good, so I don't know if it was quite as good as those ones, but it's still a really solid show, a really good show, and yeah, solid job by WWE with this SummerSlam.
I'll say this: I think it was better than last year's, by a little bit, not much. I'm trying to think of the one. If it's, I can't remember if it's the one from last year or the year before with Roman and Brock.
Yeah, that was the one from like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that one. That was the best SummerSlam in a while.
Yeah, that was a great show. Last year was pretty good. We had Brock versus Cody and a few other ones, but I think it definitely lacked a Roman Reigns match. I don't even think Roman faced anyone there, did he?
He had to. He was probably champion.
Yeah, maybe he faced Jey Uso or something.
He did.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me in this review, man. It was great having you here. I appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching out there. We had plenty of people in the chat tonight. What's that?
Let's make the Marks angry.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see the comments after this is up. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Later.